Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, sim fans. Racing 393, and we're here for a demonstration run around the Nordschleife. It's the combined circuit with the Grand Prix track, and we're going to be in a McLaren Senna GTR. This is the full track. It's not the complete full track because the bit where the Grand Prix circuit joins on, there used to be a even more extended version of it years ago. But this is 15 or so miles, 25.3 kilometers, and you'll see coming up now here a graphical rendition of the McLaren Senna GTR. I don't have a 1.43 scale model of this vehicle, only because it's I can only find one for like 55 quid, so I'm not paying that for it. If they were a bit cheaper, I'd have probably bought one. So this car, 1.3 million pounds in its out of the box standard form. This particular version's got this immensely modified rear wing and splitter, and that diffuser. From what I can gather, that rear wing's $1.3 million. 75 of these cars are going to be built. All 75 have been sold, and they can all be like bespoke built by the McLaren Special Operations team for your spec. So it's definitely a really good business model if you've got a few million sitting around not knowing what to do with it. Buy one of these, because you're going to definitely, in 10 years' time, it's got to. It'll have to double, won't it? I would think it would double. So money goes to money, as they say. They are nice cars. It does handle very, very well. 814 brake horsepower. I noticed on the track when I was driving it, I think it must go quicker than what it did in the game. I mean, I don't know whether or not it hasn't got DRS or nothing on it, but I think it topped out at like 209 miles an hour. Now, incidentally, when I go onto the track, because I record in this after I've done the lap, the sound of the car and me talking, unfortunately you can't hear me. So I should have commentated whilst I was driving. I haven't really found a setting on this software here how to sort of dull the sound of the car, or the recorded version of the car, while I talk. So unfortunately, what I might do, also I don't know how to silence, how I can put the sound back on for the car and me not talk, because I need to record it. But anyway, here's the first part of the track. There's a couple. Most of these names are all in German, so I don't know them all. So you have to bear with me on this one. So we're coming down to what is called the Yokohama S. It's going to go in a first right-hander into a left, and this bit here is called the Yokohama S. It comes into a tight-ish left-hander and into a right-hander. And when we're coming down to this, there's a hairpin down the bottom of this sort of complex of corners. The hairpin here is never really as tight. This right-hander is never really as tight as you might think. You can get like third in a reasonable sports car, racing car, third gear through there tends to work. As we come up towards the Michael Schumacher S's, fourth gear left then right. This car is a really hard fourth gear along there, so it sticks really well. And this is called the Warsteiner curve. The bit here, so this right-hander. And it comes down to Advenbogen, this flat out right-hander, which is heading up now towards the sort of the chicane, which I don't know what the name is of that chicane, unfortunately. But the next left-hander, which is quite a tight bend, it can actually throw you off as we start the actual green hell, the Nordschleife part of the circuit. Now the first part, this part here is fairly sort of technical. It's got a lot of twists and turns. I'm only using it through memory now. I don't really know all the names of these bends, but these are all sort of third gear, maybe second. Not sure what gear I'm in there. That's third, if I can see the screen. And it comes out now to a very fast uphill as you go past Hagenbach and up to the Flugplatz, which is a the bit that you see here in most films where the cars lift off the ground from years ago, but this won't, because this car is like an aeroplane. It's stuck to the ground. This part now, the track is absolutely, it's flat out here. The car does actually come off the ground here. There's a little bump in the track here. You see the car jump a little bit. So I did get the car off the ground. As it comes down into the dip, very, very fast here. That hairpin's never quite as tight as you imagine, but however, you're always going twice the speed you think you're going there, and it always comes unstuck. Again, a very fast downhill up to the very technical part here. I tend to always, if I go off, it tends to be here. You tend to overdrive a lot. This is a very tight, a much tighter bend, and the rFactor 2 version of this track actually makes that corner a lot longer as you enter there than it does in other versions, I've noticed. So we're coming up now to another tricky left-hander, which in this version of the track is actually longer than the other tracks and all other versions give. And as it comes down here to the first sort of part of the twistier bits of the track, as you can see, slightly wide there, but it's still quite fast. I mean, the next bend comes up on you very, very quick. As you go around here, the right hand bend, you tend to go wide onto the curb, and it sort of like spits you off here. So there, for example, it's the left hander. If you hit that sort of outside curb on the inside of the track, if that makes sense, you tend to go off there. Well, I do, but not today. So we kept it all together. So we've got it all going around the corners here. I'm not sure the names of some of these bends. I've got them in front of me, but I've got no idea whereabouts on the track in relation to the map I am. This goes around to a right-hander, if my memory serves me correctly. That was a left-hander, wasn't it? Oh, there's the right-hander. Quite tight. And it starts to open up here a little bit as we go around this sweeping sort of right-hand bend, all the dips. But this part of the track, it starts to sort of undulate. And you find the exit of some corners are the entry to others, but you need to know where the corner is before you exit a particular corner, as I nearly went wide then, because this bit really is sort of flat in this car. As you can, if you remember, you watched my other video, I went round there in the 49B, the Lotus 49B, and there's no way that was flat around there. So this should be the first carousel. Iconic. I try to go on it with this car, but it doesn't like it, so I stay slightly high. It's only really the car with a bit more suspension movement and slightly higher ride height suited for that, to be honest with you, not with these modern racing cars and GT cars. So after the carousel, this is the part of the track which I'm weakest at. This is where all the corners tend to lead to other corners, and you have to almost do this by, well, me, it's more luck, I must admit, than judgment. There are some cases along here where the crests and rises, you can actually see the next corner. But as you can see, they're a little bit wide there, and I do miss some of my apexes because I'm probably carrying a bit too much speed, and I don't know exactly where to position the car. And then there are some bits where you know, and I think I'm quite comfortable with my pace. So I went a bit wide there, you see. So I actually feel that I could be a lot quicker around this circuit if I just nailed this sort of back end of the circuit, which is kind of like places like Whipperman and Echenbach, and I'm not even going to bother trying to say that one because I can't say it. Famous names in motorsport, in probably one of the most famous tracks in the world as we come around the final carousel. Two right-handers. The first one's always tighter than you think. And the second one is a bit of a late apex. So you keep your speed up to the one, well, it's not, I don't call it the main straight because there isn't a grandstand there, but it's the straight, which is absolutely flat chat. I mean, this car on the game, as it goes under the bridge, the left-hander slightly downhill, 209. I don't know, I can't remember now. I don't know if you can see it on there at all, what speed I'm up to. That's still 730, 740, 7.3. Sorry, 7.4 minutes. So this bit's quite technical. I'm trying not to overdrive as we get to the end. I'm sorry, you can't have the sound on the car, unfortunately, because you can't hear me. But we live and learn. And that's a lap. I'm sure that was 8.0 something. The actual lap record in a GTR, 8.18. So, anyway, I thought that was not a bad lap, actually. So there we go. There was a quick lap of the Nordschleife. I keep saying a quick lap. It wasn't a quick lap, but it was a one-lap wonder of the Nordschleife in a McLaren GTR Senna. A very impressive rendition and very well modelled car in rFactor 2. Lots of downforce, loads of grip. I mean, even for me, you can get around the corners pretty damn quick without going off. It certainly poles apart to the earlier cars I've been driving around here. So if you like what you see and you see what you like, I don't even know, is that a saying? Like what you see and see what you like. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't. It doesn't bother me, to be honest. Share the video, give me some feedback, and I'll see how we can implement things. But that will do for now. I'm not sure what to do in my next video. I've got a couple of cars which I'll try to emulate. But until then, thanks for watching. Appreciate any feedback and ideas. Enjoy your day, and I shall see you next time.